Your voice, your opinion, your community. Fact TV, free speech, protected.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music. Mike and Marty on the beat. Mike and Marty. Mike and Marty.
Good morning and welcome to the feed. It's Mike and Marty. Here we are, the day before the big Independence Day celebrations, but you'll be seeing it after this. We're here today with Alex. We're going to be talking about Access TV and what's happening in Access TV, what's new and what's not.
Yeah.
But first, Marty with the local events.
Local events. So the classic movie this week at the Opera House happening tonight is Rocky, and it's the original Rocky too, which I think was the best of all of them.
Yeah, you're
anyway,
right.
I thought Rocky 5 was pretty good.
just to be contrary. Yeah. I know there's a lot of them, but I still think the original. Adrian. That's sponsored by James Plumbing and Heating. As you've seen for the past couple weeks, we've been promoting the Saxons River 4th of July. There's a full bevy of events. And just to remind everybody, there's water polo, there's the pie contest. If you want to enter the pie contest, get there by 8. Have your pie dropped off at Main Street Arts by 8:30. There's a sweet category, a savory category, and a gluten-free category. Vermont Armored Combat will be doing a sword play demo, and then they're going to have some foam weapons so that kids and stuff can practice. There's a dunk tank. I think Mike signed up for that. There's face painting, pickup softball games. There's live music, the Creekside Ramblers, all the things we talked about. But then there was a few things I found on a poster that that wasn't finalized yet. So it's a full day of events. Firecracker race starts at 8:30, 11 o'clock parade. Noon water polo, 11 to 4 games in street fair, live music from 1 to 3, and then pick up softball games at 5 p.m. And you're gonna be there doing some.
We're doing
interviews,
Main
right?
on the Street interviews.
Yeah, which is
fun.
That's fun.
I hear that they're actually going to they're trying to do a whole media thing, that they're going to have a drone that's going to be flying over and taking.
Oh, nice.
And then we're
Nice.
going to do interviews, and other people are going to be doing video, and so.
Yeah, what a perfect way to kind of capture the day.
Yeah,
To
yeah.
get people to really understand it. And then next Saturday, am I right? Next Saturday, July 13th, Sojourns is doing an event. They're calling it Weaving Community Connections. There's going to be food, music, different local practitioners in addition to Sojourn practitioners, local resources there. It's from 10 to 2. If you're curious about Sojourns, what they have to offer, it would be the perfect way to, dip your toe in the water without commitment. And we know that they have great practitioners there because we've had a lot of them here on the show.
Yeah,
So.
that's true. So Alex,
So I was going to say probably wasn't going to participate in the Saxons River events going on, but once I found out that you're going to be part of the dunking booth, I am there.
you're coming out and doing it.
That is actually fake news. I'm just going to throw that out
A
there.
little misinformation.
That is,
I have no
that is
idea.
I'm glad
fake
to hear
news.
that. Thank you.
I just threw that in there for the heck of it. Mike is not going to be at the
That
dunk
totally went
tank.
over my head. I thought
But that is not that you can fake news, but I do have the ability to express my own opinion on Fact TV.
Oh, absolutely.
Correct?
Yes.
That's part of Fact TV.
that is part of Fact TV. Express whatever opinion you want. Obviously, that's within the law, but
I think it's within the law saying Mike was going to be in the dunk tank. But anyway. So yeah, that's one of the. Is that one of the biggest misconceptions that you deal with here? Is that when you air a show that somebody else has made, and maybe you don't agree with it, it's not your jam, whatever, but it's not Fact TV producing that show. Fact TV is just the platform for that show to be aired.
yes.
I think that's a really salient point to make, because I know you get phone calls sometimes when when shows come on,
Oh, yeah,
or
absolutely.
misinformation. Like I just gave misinformation on
Yeah.
purpose, but sometimes it's if someone just slips with something, and then you get a call that this wasn't the right information, this wasn't what so and so said. You're not responsible.
No, yeah, we're not responsible. Yeah, I mean that's a great. We're here to sort of talk about common misconceptions about Falls Area Community Television and public access
Right.
in general, right? So
So who's responsible for this show?
you two are.
We are.
We
So
are.
if you
100%.
screw up and someone's upset with what you say, I'm out of the. I'm out.
And that's a
Marty's
prime
email
example.
is-
People, Fact TV is not producing this show.
Yeah, Mike does not work for Fact TV. Marty is on the board,
But I don't work for Fact.
but she does not work it. It's a volunteer board. So, and they're basic people from the community. They're just community members, and they come in and they use the services here. Like, well,
And how much do we pay you for that?
you pay me $0. It costs $0 to do your own show here at Fact TV. So, yeah, that's the common misconception. The misconception here is that when someone sees something that comes from Fact TV or from a community access station, they automatically assume that that we've produced it, that we stand behind it, and this is not an uncommon misconception. And don't feel bad if you have this misconception. This is one of the things that we have to constantly make people aware of, and that we're a community access TV station. We're a nonprofit, and we're run by a board, okay? And my role here as executive director, and the employees' roles here, is to basically maintain the studio space and the broadcast channels and the website for the use of the community. So basically, it's the community, so that it has ownership in this, and we're here to maintain this platform and to bring in the community and say, hey, here are the resources that you have. You can use a studio space, you can take out equipment, you can produce your own show. And so remember, when you see something that's from Fact TV, we're not producing it unless we're covering
Right,
a government meeting,
Right.
or unless it's an event that we covered. But most of the content, 75% of the content, is produced by community producers, just folks in the community. And we value our mission for community access is upholding the right of free speech, okay? And so people will have a greater ability to be able to express themselves, and it's not our role to be able to limit
Or censor.
or censor, how people want to
Right,
express
right.
themselves creatively or via commentary and so on and so forth. So, and that's where people could be like, well, I don't like this person's show, or I don't like what they said, or I don't like that they're doing news segments on Brattleboro or whatever.
Right, exactly.
I don't think it's news. Well, that's not our role. Our role is someone from the community is creating content. This is the form that they want to present it. We're here to support that, as long as they don't break the certain laws, like inciting violence. And there's certain guidelines, that you follow. If they're within the guidelines, they can express themselves any way they want. So. And you would want the same respect. I mean, I know it's upsetting. Sometimes people watch content and they're like, "Oh, I don't like that piece of content," and then they email me or call me up and say, "What are you doing?" Legitimate. Like what are you doing putting up that piece of content? And you should not have that person
Right.
put up content. And basically, you're telling me to go against the mission of our organization, which is free speech and providing a platform for people to express themselves, and if you have your own opinion on what you think is good content, you wouldn't want me to censor you if you came
Right.
into the station and say, "Oh, I'm sorry, we don't like what you say." That's not what we're here for. We're here to be
Right.
as accepting as possible. Now, if someone comes in here and incites violence, no, get out. Okay. However, I always use the extremes when I'm talking about this. Like, I take it very seriously about upholding free speech. There are other platforms out there, like YouTube and Facebook and so on and so forth, but they're not free speech platforms. If someone comes in here and wants to talk about their opinions of COVID, if they went to YouTube, whether or not you agree with it or not, they would be their video would get taken down. Now, that doesn't happen
be
here
censored
for
at the very
community,
least.
community
Yeah,
access. We uphold free speech. So when it comes to the extremes, if someone came in here and wanted to do a presentation and an argument about how great Hitler is, now whether or not I personally myself And it could be as, most people are going to say this is despicable, but if they want to come in and do that, we would let them express themselves, all right? And I think the worst thing about any society is when we try to silence people. So that's how I look at the role. That's our mission. That's how I look at my role here at Fact TV. And you always have to bring in the extreme situations. What would you do if someone's, they're not inciting violence, they're just saying, okay, Hitler was a great leader and he did X, Y, and Z. Well, that's okay to express that, but I don't have to agree with it, but I would still have to let them say that.
And then to flip the script to the public, you don't have to watch it.
Yeah.
Like you can choose to not watch it.
Yeah.
And that's kind of the ultimate. There's no one's forcing you to, right?
Yeah. I think the greatest thing is what the public needs to realize is you have there's 26 community access stations in the state of Vermont, which is a lot. And we really have a really strong public access community here. Now, you have a very valuable resource that is offering free services that doesn't gatekeep and allowing you with the training and the resources to be able to express yourself creatively how you want and to get your message out. That's huge. That's huge. And then you want to maintain a platform that's accepting to all, that accepts all voices. And that's a huge valuable resources because that, as you can see in the world outside, that a lot of the places where you think are public forums are not. Either you have to sacrifice, having all your information and data tracked, or as you can see, as what's happened in the past, whatever the political whim is, those organizations like YouTube and Facebook may censor other ideas and opinions, whether how far out you believe or how far out your opinions are, it doesn't matter. But here at a community access station, you don't have that type of censorship
But
or data tracking.
you do have the ability, you have a resource that you can use to promote. It's to promote community. I mean, that's what we try to do on this show specifically, but you also, with the events that you cover and the sporting events and the town government, you allow a fairly accessible, and we'll talk about the website in a minute because you did do a lot of website upgrades, ways for people to find out information in a timely manner and in a local manner. Like if somebody wants to know what happened at the select board meeting, this is the easiest place to find it. So you want to talk a little bit about
absolutely.
the website?
Yeah, we've updated our new website, and what Marty's talking about, the other thing about your local access center, like Falls Area Community Television, is we're one of the organizations that's able to provide a certain amount of free coverage of local events and things that are going on, and we cover the local government meetings. For such small communities like ours in our area, we don't have any other sort of media sources that are going to cover those hyper local events. WCAX and all the TV stations up north, they hardly ever come down here. And if you want to pay for a video crew to come down, or a video crew to cover any sort of sporting event or any local community event that's important to the folks in our communities, you would have to pay easily $600 to $700 just to film that event. I mean, and so what Fact TV as a resource is we subsidize some of those costs. The production cost to be able to cover an event would be far less than if you actually hired that, or sometimes we cover it for free. And we also have our website, which is a platform for the public.
Fact8.com.
Fact8.com, and we've updated it this year. And people can get their get public service announcements out through the cable channels and on our website. So, and it's very easy to do now. And this is definitely a great resource for people to have if you want to know what's going on. If you go to our website, you scroll down, here are the community videos right here. So we just filmed a comedy show. So we got some comedies, and then your board meetings here. We have recent meetings up here. And if you want to check out what's going on in town and your specific board meeting, you just hit on government programming, watch now. And you have a list of all the towns that we serve here that you can watch the meetings for. And, we've updated the website. We have a new player here. And so sometimes you don't want to watch the entire meeting. Maybe there's a specific agenda item that you just want to you see what they discuss it about. So with our new player, we have a lot of advanced features, and I just want people to be aware of that. We have chapter markers here, so this is AI chapter markers. So sometimes you can navigate through here like police resources and executive session, Robertson Papers Mill, you can go right to that. Or the player also has an interesting feature where transcription. So you can go up here, you click your transcription button down here, and you can search keywords. So for instance, if there's a specific keyword that you want to look for, let's just say, let's talk about Vermont child care. We could highlight this keyword on this agenda item. And sometimes it's pretty, 75% of the time it works pretty well, and we can type that in there. So Vermont C, right here. It took me right, if I put in Vermont C, it took me right to Vermont Child Care Tax Credit Program. And I click on that, and it takes me to that section of the video.
Pretty amazing.
So, and this is the new player that we have.
And it works on all the videos?
Yes, you can do it on all the videos. You can put keywords for any of the videos, so the government meetings, and so on and so forth. So that's our new player, and there's more features to come. What will come in the future is there will be a little button, a little chat bot. You click on it and be like, find Vermont Child Care, or just ask it a question, and it will read the transcript and try to answer that question for you. So definitely helps with note takers or people in municipalities or just the general public if you want to just get to a specific agenda item rather than having to watch the entire meeting.
Although they are entertaining.
They can be. I mean, you find a keyword or get it highlighted somehow. The other thing too is people can access our website. They can submit a public service announcement, which, like, let's just say you're having a yard sale. Let's say you have an event going on in the local community. If you go to our homepage and you go to the top part where it says "Work with Us," and you hit "Submit PSA," it's very easy to do. Click that.
I do have to comment that because we have to submit a page for the show every week, and it is super easy, especially since it was a little light at first, but since you darkened it.
I darkened it. I made sure
I was
that
like squinting at the screen, like I can't tell where the little circle's going, but it's super easy, and it's super. It's way less clunky than the other one.
Absolutely, yeah, and
so you can submit a video file too?
Yes, you could submit a PSA, and you submit the information, and then what happens is it goes directly to our news tab up here, and this is what it will look like, your public service announcement. So we have the parade here. So once you submit the PSA, it will have links and information. So it's very easy to submit the public service announcement, and then it also plays on our broadcast channel. And then if you're already producing content out there, if you're a filmmaker or you're producing a podcast or you're doing a YouTube video from home or whatever, or if you shot your own video of some event going on, very easy to submit to Fact TV to have it be broadcast and put up on our website. And you just go with Work With Us and you hit video submission form right here. You just click on that and you click Submit Video. And and you fill out the information, and we'll put the video up, and so on and so forth. So it's very easy to contribute. I mean, and one of the biggest things is community television, and I know there's a lot of folks out there who live in Keene, who live in the area that are already producing stuff. So please consider submitting your video to community television.
What if somebody wasn't yet producing stuff, but they wanted to know how to produce stuff? I understand that you maybe have some workshops and training programs in the works.
Yeah. I mean, since COVID, we had workshops and training. Then COVID hit, and then
everything went.
We stopped all that. We maintained sort of the filmmaking workshops, but we haven't had. Sort of the making television, getting involved with Fact TV and how to utilize the resource type workshops or training classes. So moving forward, within the next 3 months, we are going to start putting up, start doing training classes again
Where will they be? Here?
Both here in Bellows Falls and in Keene. So look on our website for further information, and also I'll share that out. But also we will be doing training and tutorial videos and posting them up online in our website.
Which I think is awesome, and I think,
Yeah.
I know, this is just some notes from the last board meeting, some of the ideas that you had were
Yeah.
like basic camera operation, lighting techniques, sound recording, video editing, using AI for content, you know, all things that if somebody was starting out, I mean, that's, seems to be like, you know, you see the, what is it, influencers or whatever?
Yes, exactly.
Like, how did they get started? How did they get the knowledge? Well, you can come right here and you can get that. I'm not saying you create influencers, but I'm saying you at least give someone the skills.
Yeah.
And I know that you also do some help sometimes if people really want to know how to utilize, because you took
Yes,
advantage of that.
I did. Before
Yeah.
we went to Spain, we sat down with Alex, and he gave us a whole tutorial on using iPhones for travel photography, and it was great. We had a really good time.
Yeah, I mean, the biggest thing with your iPhone or your cell phone, I mean, it takes great video already. It's just sort of using it and sort of understanding the different techniques that you can utilize with it. I think that there's a lot of folks that's also a misconception, is that it's only that we're only helping people out for shows that are on public access cable television. And, you know, cable's dying, so who's going to watch? But we obviously have a website. We distribute the content online, and we're more of a media center now versus just a TV center.
Because there's so many other ways you can distribute the content. It's not
Yeah.
just going out on the cable channel. It's, you know, we share it. We, like, our show will get shared out. We share it on different Facebook pages. I don't think we don't do Instagram, right? We could, though. We could
We
share it on
could,
Instagram, yeah. We're just lazy.
Yeah, we could share, and that's the thing is, so people might think we're just limited to television in terms of the training and the resources that we offer. Folks can utilize the training and the resources, and we'll cover all aspects of
Right.
media. As a matter of fact, and so that's important. Like, you want to do a YouTube show or a podcast, you have a community access center. It's not just a public access TV station, a community access center in your local community. That you can go to, and they'll have cameras, they'll have resources, they'll have a studio space. I mean, you see some of these more popular YouTubes. These are the ones that are getting millions of views and making money at YouTube, and they have their own studio space, and they've paid for it. But
You have it
you
here.
have a community access center, and you
Yeah.
have a studio
spend-
space that you can utilize for free, and your content can still go onto your own YouTube page, and you can build a YouTube channel. The only requirement for community access is that we are able to broadcast it on our cable channels, and we're able to put it up,
Yeah.
on our website. So, yeah.
And you have a great space, the smaller space. This is the main studio, but there's a smaller space. We did a couple shows from there.
Yeah.
That's a great podcasting space because it's soundproof, and
Yeah.
you've got everything that you need in there, especially if someone's just thinking about it. And then,
Yeah.
you know,
You
versus
can get your
investing
feet
in all
wet
the
without
equipment.
investing
Yeah.
a lot of
Yeah.
money.
Yeah, and I think the biggest thing for folks, there might be folks that are already producing stuff at home, and maybe they want to up their game and come to the station, or there's people that have an idea, but they're a little scared to come in and do it because they think that I think the biggest thing is people are afraid to being judged, so they have to come in there and they need help, and they're going to be judged on what they want to do with the content they want to create. We don't judge. We're here to help you get your message out the best way that you can. There's no judging of what you want to do or what you feel is important, and that's very important to me, and that's very important to the rest of the team here. Is that people feel comfortable, and we don't judge. We don't judge what people want to do, and I think people already come with that preconception, like, oh, I'm afraid. Oh, I don't know what I'm doing. Well, it doesn't matter. You can do
Yeah.
something very simple. You don't. As long as you create the content, the simplest thing to do is to come in and do an in-studio show where you don't really have to have any of it.
Like this one.
Like this one, where you don't have to have the technical skill and ability if you don't really want to get into that, but you want to sort of create a show and be on it. Then this is the easiest way to do it. right here is doing what we call an in-studio show.
We are down to like 40 seconds.
okay.
So I'm gonna do a shameless plug for Fact TV. So all of this is free and available, but there are some times when local events need to be covered and you need to pay for people to do it, and especially with sporting events. So I believe there's a donate button
Oh, there
on the
is, yeah.
website.
So go to-
So if somebody were interested, they could certainly donate. There we go. Make a donation.
Make a
Yay.
donation.
Yes, to help support some of those events that you cover, especially the sporting events. I know coming into the football season, I'm just going to put that out there, and then
Yeah.
we
Well, yeah.
are.
Well, we're
I'll
on
just say donations do not go to payroll. The donations go to covering, getting more resources for the station and covering
Local events.
the local events that, you know, so if like the Legion has an event they want covered, your donation helps for us to subsidize that event, so it doesn't cost $500 for that event to
right.
be covered.
I know we
That's
can go
it.
on with lots
We
of
could.
plugs, because we need freelancers too.
Yeah, we could have a whole nother show about
Yeah.
about having a show.
That would be
Part two,
fun. We should do another show about freelancing. I think that would be fun. All right,
Bye,
that's all we have,
community.
the time we have this year, this week, whatever. See you.
Local news, politics, business, sports, arts, music.